You're rocking with the MLBbro Show, where we bring you the latest and greatest in black and brown baseball players. Lock in with the Gambler, D-Grub, and Crit. Let's get it.
When I step up to the plate, yeah, up in the batter's box, diamonds fall off my waist, yeah. I got the game on padded lock, MVP Mookie Betts, yeah. That's my A-like, we melanated kings. So baby, get your swagger right, baseball's a thing. You can see us in the satellite when bros don't swing. The fans be like, that ain't right, see what we bring. Our managers are goal, all they do is win 90 games with the soul. Yo, season after season, Baker's boys make noise. Davey Rob just be chillin' while his lineup's destroyed. Stop asking me about battery mates, especially if he's facing Dylan Tate. I go where the winds blow, the city of Chicago. Look forward to a stroll show, even if he plays for Puerto Rico in the WBC. He'll never be an enemy to the great state of MLBbro.com. 2 firearms, average a hit bombs like a car alarm. He's almost at 60, the season's moving swiftly. The playoffs, the mystery, there's a few that we'll see in the postseason. Dr. Stick should be tossing with the hot seasoning. If seeing is believing, then the Bro Bombers achieved it. Tim Anderson's coming back to save the White Sox season. La Russa should be leaving. Young talented niggas need space to breathe in. The new culture we seeing, Bro bombing straight through the weekend. Josh Bell's on time with his hot streaking. George Springer didn't peak, and now he's hitting up playoff pushes in high speed. The Bro's always around when the teams most need. A lot of suckers talk but couldn't bust a nosebleed or crush a four-seam at 96 speed. The rundown is non-stop like judges chase for history. Watch Michael Harris with the game on the line. We Tesla and better, our fame's unrefined. Marcus Semien went 20 for 20, his game's on the climb. Shouts to Tommy Pham, he came through the fire. Shouts to Josh Naylor, his comeback inspired. They retired Dave Stewart's jersey number. No wonder the Black A's bumping bass, the rubber, the soul brother for the Oakland A's. The 90s was something, the bass bumpers. We running all through Florida and Houston, but in the summer, the Bay Area had it locked with GOAT numbers. And Smoke was the golden arm that post numbers. The Yankees gave Derek Jeter a day to remember. They need to bring him into the fold by next September. He's the father of all history since George left us. It's crunch time. MLBbro.com, you must check us. We out like Billy Hamilton on the bases, go crazy. It's the rundown, baby. We out like Billy Hamilton on the bases, go crazy. Or Ricky Henderson. It's the rundown, baby. That melanated Mal Marauder that gets up in your hotter and farther. Let's go. The rundown, baby. October baseball are coming. September 16th, yeah. MLBbro Show podcast mixtape. Don't be late, it's the all-star stuff.
It's those classic hits with David Grubb on MLB Bros Podcast. It's those classic hits with David Grubb on MLB Bros Podcast.
What's up? I'm David Grubb, and it's time for another edition of Classic Hits, where we go digging in the crates of baseball's past. We're in baseball's stretch run towards the playoffs when the game's legends are truly made. This season, we've seen young players like Money Mike Harris and Tristan McKenzie play big roles on contending teams. And on Classic Hits this week, we look at another rookie who helped his team all the way to a World Series championship. Yeah, we're taking a ride back in time on the D-Train to 2003. Rookie Dontrelle Willis was called up by the Florida Marlins in May of that year, looking for some help in their rotation. Instead, what they found themselves was a leg-kicking, body-bending star in the making. Willis was named National League Pitcher of the Month in June after going 5-0 with a minuscule 1.04 earned run average. By the All-Star break, Willis had cleared just about everything on the tracks, going 9-1 and becoming just the second Marlins rookie to be selected for the All-Star game in franchise history. He finished the regular season with a record of 14-6 in 27 starts and a 3.30 ERA. With Willis playing a supporting role in the playoffs, the Marlins would go on to beat the Braves, Cubs, and Yankees on their way to their second World Series championship. Following that season, Dontrelle be named Rookie of the Year, the first Black Ace to earn that honor since Doc Gooden nearly 2 decades earlier. In 2005, Willis had the best year of his young career as he finished second in the NL Cy Young balloting after leading the league in wins with 22 complete games and shutouts. Lefty became the first black pitcher to win 20 games in 15 years and is still the only pitcher in Marlins history to win 20 in any season. Dontrelle was nice with the bat in his hands as well. He batted .268 with 24 hits, 5 for extra bases and 11 RBI that season, joining the 20 wins, 20 hit club, becoming just the third pitcher in the modern era to do so. Just as quickly as he burst onto the scene, though, Willis left it. He won 22 games combined over the next 2 seasons and became a Major League journeyman before making his final appearances in the bigs during the 2011 season. The G-Train wasn't around for a long time, but when Dontrelle Willis was on the mound and on one, it was definitely a good time. Until the next time, I'm David Grubb, and this has been Classic Hits. Now back to the mix with the OG, Mark Gray.
This MLBbro hit the ball so hard that not only did he clear the fences, there's a cove named after him in the contemporary stadium so the next generation can make its own splash. Perhaps the most beloved San Francisco Giant ever, Willie McCovey played 19 of 21 seasons in NorCal and was one of the greatest players ever, but was often dwarfed by his teammates Bobby Bonds and Willie Mays. McCovey was a dead-pull line drive hitter, which led some teams to introduce the shift against him long before it was fashionable. When it came to other players recognizing game, he was called the, quote, scariest hitter in baseball, end quote, by Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Gibson, and it was also co-signed by another Bay Area Hall of Fame slugger, Reggie Jackson, who was doing his thing across the bay at the time in Oakland. McCovey hit 521 home runs, 231 of them in anything but hitter-friendly Candlestick Park, which was the most in that stadium by any player ever. In 1969, he hit 45 home runs and drove in 126 RBI and was named the National League MVP. He also won the MVP of the 69 All-Star Game after hitting 2 home runs to lead the National League team to a 9-3 win. McCovey was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1986, his first year of eligibility, making him just the 16th player to earn the honor at that time. But the most enduring part of McCovey's legacy is that any big fly that now leaves the ballpark traveling through right field in this new generation of Oracle Park in San Francisco now takes a plunge in McCovey Cove.
Extra base power!
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Extra Base Power here on the MLBbro Show podcast. It's Crit, here with you once again like I am every week, bringing you some of the best things that I've seen from black and brown players throughout the game of baseball this week. As you may know, we love to pay respect to those who came before us, because without them and the struggles they went through, there wouldn't be any MLBbros today. So we always got to show love and acknowledge the OGs when we have the chance. So last week, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates took the field wearing some Negro League jerseys, the Threads, honoring the St. Louis Stars, or the St. Louis Giants, and the Pittsburgh Crawfords. So let's talk a little bit about both teams. First up, you have the Pittsburgh Crawfords. They don't have an extensive history, only playing in the Negro Leagues for 8 seasons from 1933 to 1940, but during that time, they won 3 Negro National League titles, one in 1933, and back-to-back in 35 and 36. Now, the reason for some of these victories is because the star power they had on the team, and boy, did they have some names. They had James Cool Papa Bell, Oscar Charleston, Josh Gibson, Judy Johnson, and Satchel Paige. Now, there's one name on here that you do recognize. It's Paige, who is one of the greatest to ever lace him up. Then, now, whenever. He's one of the best. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Triple Crown winner, 8-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, and 2-time ERA title winner. In his 3 years with the Crawfords, he was 25-10 with a 2.16 ERA. He had 30 complete games, 7 shutouts, and 301 strikeouts. Absolute domination. As a franchise, for multiple leagues, the Crawfords had a record of 336 and 268. Well over 500% winning percentage. Pretty good if you ask me. The St. Louis Stars, or also known as the St. Louis Giants, when they were first founded, were originally ran by African-American bank messenger Charles A. Mills. They played independently from 1906 to 1919, and in 1920 they joined the Negro National League. In 1922, they became the Stars, and they went on to win 3 Negro National League pennants from 1928 to 1931. They had some Hall of Famers. They had Cool Papa Bell and Charleston before they played for the Crawfords. They also had Mule Suttles, Biz Mackley, and Willie Wells. Suttles was a stud for the Stars. He was there for 6 seasons. He had 379 with 531 hits, 100 home runs, 450 RBI, and a 1.190 OPS. Unfortunately, though, the league and the franchise folded in 1931. And that's all for Extra Base Power here on this week's MLBbro Show podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for more. As always, I'm Crit. Thanks for listening.
What's good, baby bros, bro bombers, and bro show ballers? This is the Gambler with the pushback on MLBbro.com. We have to push back on the lack of respect LA Dodgers skipper Dave Roberts gets as an elite all-time manager. The LA Dodgers clinched the franchise's 10th consecutive postseason berth on Sunday, and MLBbro manager Dave Roberts has been at the helm for 7 of them. His teams have won over 100 games 3 times, and after surpassing the 95-win threshold, seems destined to do it again this season. He's never had a winning percentage less than .562, and his only managerial training prior to taking over for the Dodgers was 1 game with the San Diego Padres. So he is a natural, indeed, having played in the majors and made clutch plays on a championship team. While people have often criticized Roberts for winning just 1 World Series, despite winning the National League West Division every season except 2021, we must also give him his props for winning consistently, and despite some tough losses, always showing the resilience and belief that great managers with great teams display. Despite the depth of talent on the Dodgers roster, any baseball fan knows that what's written on paper and gets spit out of the computer isn't an exact science. So many different factors, from the health of the pitching to the hitting matchups, home field advantage, have to be perfect. And you need a lot of luck and clutch performances to reach the promised land. So the fact that Roberts consistently has a team in a position to win a World Series reflects his elite ability as a manager. More than that, he's a class individual who respects his players and well represents the organization's brand. The Dodgers have 7 more wins than any other team in the league. Roberts has spoiled Dodgers fans with his team's success. His calm demeanor and never panic persona mixed with flashes of extreme passion and defense of his players has been a recipe of consistent greatness for LA Dodgers fans. While their neighboring team, the Angels, also spent big coin on superstars like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, only to finish near the bottom of the league season after season, Roberts takes his talent and cultivates it into one winning unit, egos and all. Props to Dave Roberts, who doesn't get his flowers enough. And that's the pushback with the Gambler on MLBbro.com. That concludes another episode of the MLBbro Show podcast mixtape for this week. Remember, we will gladly pay you on Tuesday for an MLBbro doubleheader today. The heart of the game lies in the diversity of the game and the spirit of black baseball that dates back to the Negro Leagues. I, the Gambler, your friendly neighborhood diamond checker, making sure that you stay on top of the game and in touch with the soul of MLB. See you next week, ladies and germs. We out of here. Drop the mic, please.
You're rocking with the MLBbro Show, where we bring you the latest and greatest in black and brown baseball players. Lock in with the Gambler, D-Grub, and Crit. Let's get it.